Dr. Donald Morton.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton. Dr. Donald Morton is an award-winning social entrepreneur known for his innovative social solutions.
Based on this fatherhood and manhood issue in droves, in incredibly large numbers. And I felt it necessary for someone to have a voice like yourself to do the work of restoring men in our society. And I've been doing that work ever since.
His latest solution is expressed as the CEO of Remand.
So Remand, the nonprofit, is about helping brothers that are coming out of prison, brothers that are dealing with child support, brothers that are the most marginalized of our communities, helping them with their character and the institutions that impact them. And then the LLC, our for-profit arm, is really attempting to address the CEOs and CFOs and entrepreneurs and people like that say, look, I got issues too as a black man. My issues are a bit different because I'm in the C-suite. Mm-hmm. And how it plays out in the C-suite is very different than how it plays out on the block and those brothers that are coming out of re-entry. But here's a deal. All of us the same, for real, for real.
Dr. Morton is the former executive director of the Complexities of Color Coalition. As executive director of the coalition, he worked to congregate Wilmington, Delaware's African American community in order to create comprehensive strategy to influence institutions, policies, and laws. Dr. Morton has over 25 years of experience in African American community leadership. Remand is deeply personal. While he's glad that thousands of men are on this journey with him, it was started because he needed liberation. He was broken and bound, and he was fighting to put his life back together after divorce, infidelity, business challenges, bankruptcy, and a life destroyed by being the worst liar ever. Yes, Dr. Morton was a liar until he faced himself and proved his signature science, the character arc. Then and only then was he ready to lead men to learn and live the science of being remanded.
What's up, people? Good morning to y'all. It's 10:03. I'm Donald Morton. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer of Remand. And at Remand, we are a coaching and consulting firm specializing in the character development of individual Black men and the institutions that serve them or impact them. I want to say what's up to y'all. Leroy is saying, what's up to y'all? Nodella, where you been? Nodella, we want to know where you been. We haven't seen you on here in a while. Do we need to send a popo? The FBI, the NAACP, let us know what we need to do. I am connected to the NAACP, the Urban League. I had a relationship with the President of the United States, but he don't like me no more. You said you've been grinding. Okay, I can swallow that. I've been grinding as well. Leroy, good morning to you, Black man.
What's up, bro?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm pissed off, man. As Chris Tucker said.
Leroy comes in hot. Let's get all the preliminaries out the way before we get a chance to let Leroy talk about what he's pissed off about. Dwight Robinson, what's happening, King? Good morning to you, man. Dwight Robinson, such incredible things happening with him and about to happen with him. Just really, really excited about what's going on. Today is May the 20th. Yeah, I thought it was the 21st. May the 20th. Guess I'm trying to get my days ahead of me. May the 20th. And can I just say something that we all take for granted, Leroy? I'm happy to be alive, bro. You know, we're 54 years old. Well, you're 55. I'm 54 years old. I'll be 55 in August. And many of my classmates are dead. Many of the people that I grew up in church with dead. Many of friends of mine dead, right? And sometimes we don't really pause to appreciate, bruh, the fact that you and I are alive. Talk about that for a bit, bruh.
Nah, bruh, you nailed it, and I'm just grateful. One of the things that I do that was instilled in as a part of my daily routine that I go through because I have this scheduling type thing, devotional, and as a part of that devotional, it said the statement is I am grateful for.
Yes,
And I try to list at least 5 things that I'm grateful for.
yes.
And I'm always grateful to be able to say I'm grateful. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
so that is, that is so true that we, this life that we live, man, somebody didn't wake up this morning.
Yeah, for sure. That was
Somebody won't
supposed
go
to.
to sleep. Right. Somebody is going to go to sleep permanently before the day is over.
Yeah,
So being grateful, I truly thank God for allowing me to make it through every night. Thank you for allowing me to make it through another day,
yeah,
because
yeah,
as you and I both know, as
yeah.
black men, this
Right,
this
right,
life we live,
right,
bruh.
right,
Whew. So
right. And
so
so
I'm truly grateful, man.
every person that's on here today, do me a favor, shout out who you are, where you're watching from. It's evidence that you're alive,
Yeah.
and we ought to be grateful for the fact that we're alive. My mother, um, transitioned in February of 2023. Um, and what's happening, Kazo Miko? Good to see you. Transitioned in 2023 in February. Rocked me. And I'm gonna say something here, Leroy, that's going to be a bit disturbing for people, but I've come to terms with it. Like I when you were talking about, people that won't be here today and people that laid down last night, not here today, laid down permanently. My mom wanted to go. And ever since I was a little boy, my mother talked about seeing Jesus. That's all my mom talked about. I want to see
Mhm.
his face. She would sing about it, she would talk about it. When she was ready to transition. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna lay on top of you, girl, and I'm gonna breathe life in you. But she said, boy, no, as long as I've been waiting to see God, leave me alone. She said, I'm gonna wake up and slap the mess out. My baby. So that isn't. My mom was also 85 years old, right? So at 85 years old, she lived a full life, a very full life, and I'm proud of the fact that she lived a full life. Um, if I don't wake up tomorrow, I wanted to live. Let me tell y'all that. Let me tell y'all that straight up, right? If I don't wake up tomorrow, don't get on here talking about he wanted to go, because that's not just
Say that is not my doing, huh? That is not me.
yeah, it wasn't God. It wasn't me. Something went horribly wrong. I am planning to get up tomorrow and a bunch of other tomorrows. Yeah, I'm not close to being ready to get out of here. Yeah, Auntie was the truth, right? Cause yeah, she was absolutely the truth. That's my baby. She said, I slap. I can't tell y'all what she really said. You know? I can't tell y'all what she really said. Y'all might think differently of Bishop. But that, you know, I'm grateful for the 54 years that I had with her. Really, really am. So Leroy, your weekend. Okay, Leroy. All of us are postured now. Everybody's braced themselves. Let me just kind of sit on my jacket so that I don't have any crinkles, right? And I'm looking stellar and dope, bracing myself for what it is you're about to say. Why are you pissed off?
Oh no, bro, because both the teams that I picked to win yesterday lost. Neither one of them showed up, and they were playing at home.
Okay.
And ain't neither one of them my team, but I was like, okay, I can see these two teams winning and going into the next round. Neither one of them, and both of them got blown out. I was like, what is going on? So I'm pissed off, man.
Did you?
Y'all didn't even show up.
I just want to know whether or not you put any money on it.
Oh no, sir. Nah. I ain't put no money on it. You know what I'm saying?
You put no money on it?
Nah, I
You're
tell
not
you,
a gambler at all?
Nah. I'm really not, man. I gamble on sure things. So I know I win. That's the gambler I am.
So you're not a gambler at all. Let me ask you this question, right? Because neither am I. I'm really not, right? I'm not a gambler. When that Powerball, bro, I just don't answer too quickly. When that Powerball hits 790 million, do you ever feel a pull like let me just play?
Well,
play one.
I can't. I've never really had it. You know, like ooh, I could really because I know the odds are so astronomical of picking. What is it? Powerball is that the one that has the 9 numbers or 6 numbers, something like that? That you got to get. That you got to get. And I'm just like, no. And it's funny because my best friend, she always tell me when like Powerball and stuff like that. When I hit, I got you. I got you. But here's the funny thing: she don't bet either. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't play. How you gonna hit and you don't even play the Powerball?
I was in real story, man. I was in across the road from where Lala and I live. There's a gas station, right? A little convenience store, gas station kind of combination, right? And it was people they have like slots in there and everything. It's crazy over there.
Oh
right?
wow. Okay.
So I'm in line. The line is like almost out the door.
Okay.
And it's because this one little old lady that clearly don't have no money is buying her tickets.
Oh wow.
And I'm saying to myself, right? I want to say a mother, right? But my mom raised me right. Like I'm not going to talk to an elder like that. That's her money. Whatever she want to do with her money, right? And it bothers me for the reasons that you've already stated, right? It bothers me that so many people on a daily basis, bro, purchase these tickets. One sister said, I stopped for a while and you'd be amazed at the amount of money I saved when I stopped playing. So then the brother said, well, why are you here today? She said, because you can't win if you don't play. Right? So she was having a moment, this this tension, right? Like I want to play, but I know that it's a waste of money, right? Because the likelihood of winning, but you can't win if you don't play. It's just a whole thing, man. I do not play. I do not play. There's something about watching my money go out the window
I know.
that is not fun for me,
And
right?
here's the thing. I I did my internship for hotel restaurant management up in Sands. I was
Oh,
two one of two one of two people that got the internship from my school. So we spent 6 months up in Atlantic City.
here come the
6 months. So I
confession,
had
y'all. Here come the confession.
no, it ain't a confession. It's gonna trip you out. It's gonna be funny because and part of my rotation was to work the casino floor.
Okay.
And bruh, you talk about money being just
Yeah.
blown away.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't understand it. Y'all
Yeah.
can give me the money. Y'all want to just throw
Yeah.
money away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm talking, you had folks, especially the big rollers,
Yeah.
they had those trays that
Yeah.
about this wide. And I
Yes.
remember it was one guy, I remember that he had to have at least 4 or 5 of those trays of nothing but chips.
Yeah.
Nothing but chips. And I on my walking around, you look at the blackjack table, you look at the roulette table, the baccarat. Like, what in the world are these folks doing? I was just like, man, all this money and people just throwing it away. But the funniest one, real quick, man, the funniest story was always in the morning. The mothers, say the mothers. You
Mothers.
know, they had those trips up to Atlantic City, 10 o'clock in the morning, because the casino would open at 10. Don't get all I'm gonna tell you is don't get in their way. Going to the slot machines.
Bruh.
You will get ran over,
Oh,
knocked
bruh.
down, and everything else.
It's a serious thing. It's a serious thing.
It's
Like
a serious
it's a
thing.
serious thing. And they
And
used to do, you know, Tabernacle used to be a traditional Baptist church before it became full gospel. It was a traditional Baptist
okay,
church. I remember the mothers, taking casino trips, like at the traditional Baptist church. You know, all bets was off. Like it wasn't no holiness. It wasn't no holiness, bro. We going through the casinos. We gonna smoke outside the church. Right. And so it's always amazed me the euphoria that people get when they win. Right. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
won a
yeah,
hundred
yeah.
dollars. No. You spent 500.
Right, exactly. And bro, let me tell you, they working 3, 4 slot machines, bro, and you bet
Yes,
not touch not near one of them.
yes, yes,
Not near one of them.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like you said, people don't think about that. Yeah, okay, you won $100, $200, but how much did you spend? And I used to always tell people, there's a reason why the house always wins.
Oh yeah,
The house
yeah,
always wins. The
yeah,
house always wins.
yes,
It'll take those hits that the people to win, but they know because they know that people are going to be spending thousands of dollars or
yeah,
in order to be able to win.
yes. And then you say,
That's
well,
that's the game.
they give us a free drink. That drink ain't free. You paid for that drink.
You paid for that drink. Duh.
You pay for that drink. So for those of you, my cousin Miko said Marvin plays the numbers. So Marv, if you're on here and you playing the numbers, listen, man, just stop. If you need a meeting, I'll go with you. Whatever we got to do, right? But we want to make sure, my God, that we are not wasting our money. So I'm glad that everybody had a great weekend. Put it in the chat. What did you guys do over the course of the weekend. I'd like to know what you guys really accomplished over the course of the weekend. Um, Let us know. I'm interested in what you guys did. I really chilled. Lala and I chilled out. We are preparing for the puppy to come home. We are preparing for the puppy, and we haven't gone to get the puppy yet. The puppy can't be gotten until the end of this month. So we'll
Mm.
get him at the end of the month, bring him home. We're preparing the house because yeah, he's a cute little guy. In fact, I'll put him on here at some point when he comes. We are still having a debate in our house though, because Marla is committed to putting Cowboys gears on this little puppy.
Don't do
And
it.
she said it again last night, babe. I got to. Like she's serious. Like I have to. I have to do it when the Cowboys are
as 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 the rest in peace Bishop Eddie Long used to say, take authority.
yeah, I'm gonna have to do something for the sake of the puppy. Like this
Right.
for the sake of the puppy. Um, because the puppy will, he'll be rambunctious and all of that, and he'll be running around. Little Terry Doodle we have, right? Beautiful little dog. Um, but he won't know no better. He won't know the reasons why all of a sudden he lacks energy. He won't, he won't know the reasons why all of a sudden he don't want to show up. He won't want to come out of his crate. He won't know. All that we know is he was put in a Cowboys jersey, and that Cowboys jersey comes with a certain spirit to it, right? And so I'm gonna protect him. I have to protect him. Now I can't do anything about when I'm not here. And Lala, she's gonna take some pictures. She's gonna put him in the Cowboy stuff. I can't do anything about that. But for all of you that, this is what they used to say in the Baptist church, Leroy, for all of you that know the words of prayer, just pray my strength in the Lord as we attempt to figure out how Miles is.
Poor little puppet.
Poor
Poor
little
little
puppy.
puppet. Gonna be walking around the house, ain't gonna know where he is. Like you said, all of a sudden, just fall down for no reason. Don't know why.
Poor Miles, man.
You
Miles,
know.
he don't know. Listen, I will tell you this, man. The breeder called it coincidence, and really it is supernatural coincidence, bruh. Miles was born on April 24th. So he's not a month old yet, right? Miles was
Mm.
born on April 24th. April 24th, my cousin knows this as well. April 24th is also the day that they named after my mom in Delaware.
Oh
So while
wow.
I'm in Delaware, right? Not this last April 24th, obviously a year ago, but that day is so significant that God brought someone into my life, right? Because I really like dogs. I really do. I've always grown up with a dog of some sort. My
Hmm.
mom, I had a German Shepherd when I was a little boy. His and then my mom and dad. My dad had a husky, a Siberian
Hmm.
husky. The
Oh
dog
wow.
was so strong that it broke the thickest chain, bruh, and ran away. My mom said, they said, Reverend Morton, I think I saw your dog. And she's like, that's my husband's dog. Don't bring him back here. So my mom let the dog, hey Miko, Auntie let dad's dog go and never went to go get it. The dog broke the chain, left the house, and mom let the house go. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and then she had she had poodles, So she would always go lower, smaller dogs, right? So she had a German Shepherd, she had a Husky,
Really?
and she had poodles. Then she had what's the little teeny dog, the ankle biter dog?
The Chihuahuas?
Chihuahua.
Is
She
it
had
the
a
Chihuahua?
Chihuahua.
I think the
But she
Chihuahua.
had a long hair Chihuahua, beautiful dog, a long hair Chihuahua. And so, yeah, I've always been around dogs, love dogs. Don't like cats, but I like dogs. Yeah.
That's
um,
funny because I grew up I grew up the opposite.
really?
I didn't like pets at all. We had them. No, I didn't like pets at all. It used to be funny growing up. We had a cat and a dog, right? And the cat's name was Kitty, and the dog's name was Brandy. Brandy was funny because it'd be funny because when I was growing up, if we were in the in the dining room or living room sitting down watching TV, and he was sitting like with my down at the feet of my sisters or my mom, if I would walk out of the room and walk back in, he would start growling at me. He started growling because I didn't like them. I didn't like them, but it used to be so funny because Brandy, the dog, would be chasing the cat around the house all the time, right? He's sniffing at her butt, doing everything, right? Trying to holler at her. And she ain't want no parts of him. She ain't want no parts of him, right? So Brandy, he would go get groomed. They would take him to get groomed, right? He come back. He done popped his collar and everything now. And so Kitty started chasing him. And he ain't want no parts of him. He's like, nah.
Yeah, back
He was like Mike Jones.
yeah, back then you didn't want me.
You want me?
Now I'm hot.
I'm hot. Y'all up on me. It used to be the funniest thing to me. I'm like, oh my god, these animals are funny, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, absolutely, man. So I'm excited. My wife, my
That's
wife,
cool.
my wife said, I know you just want me to take care of the dog by myself. Because really I bought the dog for her, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
and she said, I know you want me to take. I said, babe, I love the dog already. So you're not gonna have to take care of the dog by yourself. I got you. But when I'm out of town, I gotta go. You know, you're gonna have to take care of the dog by yourself. So y'all, we're about to jump into this topic. For those of you that are watching, do me a favor, share this, like this. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, um, and comment. We love when you comment, even when you're off base. We've had people comment on the YouTube channel. Leroy got mad at him, cussed the guy out.
Yeah, what dude? Go sit down somewhere. You obviously ain't watching us.
Look, see, he done got upset all
Come
over
on.
again.
Y'all need to be more. What dude? Go sit down somewhere.
Dwight said, made boss moves this weekend to secure my future as you acknowledge. Absolutely, you did, bro. Proud of you too. Really, really excited to see what's about to happen in Dwight's life, his business. Yeah, it is about to be some crazy stuff that takes place, and I'm excited about it. Listen, Leroy, I want to get into
Let's do it.
today, man. Almost a continuation of the conversation around Diddy. Almost,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
We did, for those of you that did not know, we'd had a conversation yesterday about Diddy. And the ability to hold a man like that accountable. To Leroy's point, a man like that being willing to hold himself accountable, right? Without someone externally having to do so, right? But when we don't necessarily do that, it's always good to have someone in your circle that's going to hold you accountable. As a man, and let me say this to ladies as well. Ladies, let's be real clear. Um, if you have a man that is in your life that has no one in his life that can tell him what to do, You are engaged with an incredibly dangerous man.
Woo! Say it again, bro. Say it again.
Let me say it again. If you have a man in your life that does not have another man in his life that can hold him accountable, that can challenge him to do the right thing, that someone that he will listen to, if he does not have that in his life, you are engaged with an incredibly dangerous man. If no one can tell him what to do. What's up, Prince? Good to see you, man. If no one can tell him what to do, if he won't listen to anyone, if he is the end all be all, you have a dangerous man on your hands. You have a dangerous man on your hands. A man is a man when he can be held accountable, not just by his creator, but by also people that the creator has put in his life to be able to tell him his blind spots. And let me take it a step further. If your dude is a real solid dude, he's also curious enough, inquisitive enough to always seek information. Yeah, absolutely, Prince. You got it. A man is a man when he can be held accountable. If he can't be held accountable, he's a male. But manhood, y'all know how we roll here. Manhood is sacred. It's a sacred term. Everybody don't get to be called a man because he is biologically male. You don't get that from us. You get from us respect when you are willing to be held accountable, when you take ownership for your life, right? When you understand if it's to be, it depends on me, right? Johnson, last name Johnson, actually wrote that. So I just want to share with you the importance of, as a man, being held accountable. And ladies, as you are dating these different brothers, be willing to ask them the question, hey, who's in your life? You're asking him about his parents and you're asking about his income and you're asking about all that. I want to know, who's your pastor? Who's your spiritual advisor?
Mm,
Who's your friend?
mm,
Your dad been in your life? What did he
mm,
tell you? Right?
mm.
I'm not talking about having, and just hear me, because I saw one of the Kansas City Chiefs players, kicker, got in trouble because he made some statements that people didn't like. I'm not saying that women can't be in leadership, and I'm not saying that women, I'm not saying that. But this is what I'm saying. When you're asking the question about who he's spending his time with and who he's listening to, I don't want to hear he's listening to a woman. I want to know specifically, what man are you listening to? What male are you listening to? What man are you listening to? Because if you can't tell me that, you have a problem with authority. And if all that you can listen to is women, then you have a different challenge with authority. You have a challenge with masculine authority. And the problems that come along with that are numerous. Now, the reason why I wanted to give you a caveat is because, again, there are those that just don't believe the importance of males, the importance of men, Leroy. We live in a society now that doesn't necessarily believe in the importance of men. And this is where I want to transition into a conversation with you today. I want to put up a comment or a quote, Leroy, and I want to see what your position on it is. I'm going to put up a quote. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about humility, a modest or low view of one's importance, And we're talking about the humility trap, the hidden harms of diminishing ourselves. And I want to tell you why this becomes really important. Let me see if I can't do this real quick. Edit, take the scroll off, save. Let me put it on now. So I want to talk, Leroy. There are many people, man. We got about 25 minutes to unpack this. There are many people, bruh, that view humility in ways that are incredibly destructive. There are many people who view men as unnecessary, right? When you look up the word humility, there are several definitions to it, but if you look at its origin, it is the intentional diminishing of one's own importance. That is what the definition of humility is. Now we can grow definitions from that, and we can all have a different perspective about what that is, but at its origin, humility is the intentional diminishing of one's own importance. Here's why that connects to Diddy, and this is why that connects to me, and this is why that connects to you, Leroy, as a man. We live in a society that continues to tell us that men are unnecessary. We live in a society where institutions keep telling us men are unnecessary. We live in a society where we hear sisters all the time say, we don't need a man. And what is playing out in our society is the evidence of a world that is attempting to exist without male participation. So what then happens is, because we live in a society that's surrounded by that idea, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is crazy. Men are absolutely necessary. But what has happened, Odella, is because we've lived and heard all of these voices, television, church, media, policies, all suggest that Leroy is unnecessary. Donald is unnecessary. Prince is unnecessary. Dwight is unnecessary. Marvin is unnecessary. We live in a society that tells us that every single day. Watch the danger. Men have begun to believe it. So when men leave the house and they leave their children to be taken care of by mom, it's because they've been told you ain't necessary anyway. That you're better, that your children's likelihood of success is better when you are not present. When we have policies in the United States of America that say that a woman can get help from the government as long as the unnecessary element of her life is absent, which is the man, then we continue to have these conversations. Here is why that's important. Then I'm going to turn it over to Leroy. We're going to have a dialogue. The reason why that's important is because I need every single man that is on here today, Dwight, Prince, Marvin, Leroy, myself, any other man that's watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I want every single one of us to understand this. Brother, the decisions that you make will either suggest your own sense of importance to this world, to your family, to our society, or it would suggest that you don't think you're important to this world, to your family, and to this society. The reason why I changed the decisions I made, Leroy, is because I understand my importance. I can't go out here and pull out a gun and pop another brother for no reason. I got a family I'm important to. I got a society I'm important to. I've got brothers like you I'm important to. You're a brother. You can't go out here and wild out. You're important to me. You're important to society. You're important to your ministry. You're important to JNF Enterprise. You're important. The reason why humility is dangerous, as it's been taught, is because we continue to tell men, make yourself low, make yourself unimportant, make yourself diminished as it relates to your own sense of importance to this world, because if you don't, you're arrogant. And I want to tell you what the brother on that flight to Africa told us. You would have a different perspective if we weren't captured. We would have a different perspective if we weren't captured. I want to challenge every man to do the exact opposite. It's counterintuitive, but I want every man to choose the exact opposite perspective and approach. You are absolutely necessary. Look at what Nodella said. Men are absolutely necessary. You're hearing from a woman. Every now and then you'll see Leroy put up in the community or on his page a sister saying you're necessary. That's important for you to hear a woman say, hey, bro, you're necessary. For those sisters that are watching, do me a favor. If you believe men are necessary, and you don't have to cap here, right? This is the place where all of us are honest. If you can't bring it in your gut to say men are necessary, it's okay. It's okay. But if you believe men are necessary and you are willing to say that out loud for the world to know on the Grown Man Podcast, put it in the chat. Men are absolutely necessary. Your culture won't make it, brothers. Your family won't make it. Our communities won't make it. Our world won't make it unless and until you develop a perspective that you are absolutely necessary and you stop diminishing your own importance. There's Miko. Men are absolutely necessary. Leroy, this idea of humility at its core, not the etymological evolution of the word. At its core, it means diminishing and intentional diminishing of one's own importance. And we have taken that and have become, in our own minds, less and less important. So we kill each other. We leave our families. We don't show up as the highest and best version because we don't see ourselves as important. Let me throw it over to you, bro.
Well, you and I have had this conversation before, and I get your premise, and I don't disagree with what society is trying to do. And maybe I just use a different term for it. I use the term emasculation versus humility. We may be saying the same thing, just using different terms for it. Because I do believe that there is a concerted effort, gentlemen, for us to not be seen, to not be heard, and to not be respected. That is absolutely what is going on in our society today. It has been going on in our society for decades. I remember, and I don't know if you remember me asking you this, Donald, or not, but we talked about the black men leaving the home,
Yes.
and I asked the question: how did we get to the point? What made us leave?
Yes.
What were those contributing factors for us giving up on our families, giving up on ourselves, and
Yes.
giving up on our community? Was it this humbleness, this humility that we're talking about right now?
Yes.
Was that a contributing factor? Was that the root cause of us doing that? And because when you think of humility in that context, we've got to say, yeah, there's something going on. There's something that's forcing us to take this back seat, if you will, this lower esteem of who we are as men. I told you when I went over to when I was able to visit Africa last year, the brother said to me, he said, Brother Leroy, he said, we don't feel seen. We don't feel heard. And that's not just here, y'all.
Yeah.
So That's a global thing that's going on. And if we aren't careful, there are many of us who have taken on, unfortunately, that mindset that they don't care about themselves.
Yeah.
They have this lower esteem of themselves. So as a consequence, they don't care about me. They don't care about they don't care about the brother that is right in the community with them. They have no problem with taking them out. They have no problem with selling drugs to them. They have no problem with trying to exert what's the opposite of humility? Their ego-ness, if you will. This is my block. I run this block. This is mine. I'm not gonna let you disrespect me. You stepped on my tennis shoes. You disrespected me. All of that to me, as you would talk, I'm thinking about all of these things. What are we wrapping in this humility that is going on in our society, in our community? It really is. It's a mindset. And many of us have gotten caught up in it. It's like a tornado, bruh. It's a tornado spinning and it's grabbing many of us. Grabbing many of us and it has caused our community to do, as you were saying, to depend on only women to do what we should be a part of doing. And we've got to we've got to be careful and mindful, because if we're not careful and mindful, what has happened, because so many brothers have gotten this humility thing wrapped around their neck, the total opposite of that is the narcissism, is the ego, is the I've got to be the man, as we talk about a little bit about Diddy. I've got the power. I've got control. And as a consequence, because I haven't successfully learned how to, as a coach said yesterday, control it. It then controls me.
Yeah, but
Now
I'm not sure.
controls
I'm not
me.
sure that that's a. I'm not sure because I want to go to what Nodella just said. Right? She said
Okay.
if it's not demonstrated in the home, some men have nothing to pull from.
Hmm.
Right? To not have such a low view opinion of themselves. What I want to make sure everybody hears is this: what Diddy does is not a result of confidence. It's not a result of even arrogance. What Diddy does is a result of a low opinion of himself. Here's why. When you understand, when a brother understands that if you take me out the equation, my kids won't make it. I'm the X factor. If you take me out of the equation, my family won't make it. If you take me out of the equation, our culture won't make it. When we begin to understand that particular position, we don't put ourselves in a position to be taken from the equation, right? We are about to, hey coach, good to see you, man. We are about to do some research in the state of Delaware. Shout out to Discover Bank, one of our sponsors and partners. They have rocked with us since 2019. I'm grateful for them because they give us an opportunity to do this work that we're doing and to fund this work around Black men. Right? What if during the pause, Leroy? What if during the pause? What if at the moment you get angry, right? Uh, and we're having this debate or this argument. You and I are having this debate, this argument. Um, and I pull out a gun, right? And I'm ready to shoot Leroy. I hope this doesn't get Facebook can kind of get a little funky. They start taking us off the air when we start talking like this, right? But let's say that something happened. I pull out a piece. I'm ready to cap my boy. In that pause, if I have the ability to recognize my importance, if I have the ability to say, hey, bruh, you get ready to take yourself away from your family, your wife, your kids, remand, the community, and they're going to lock you away, right, for a specified period of time that you can't control. I am concerned with how many men can readily go ahead and pull the trigger because they don't recognize their own sense of importance. We've got a society that says Leroy's dispensable. Our society can make it without Leroy. Our society can make it without Dwight. Our society can make it without Prince. Our society can make it out without Walter, Marvin. And it's the biggest lie that's been told. Our society can make it without Michael Norton. It can't. It can't. And it's frustrating to me to continue to see it try instead of just acknowledging, yeah, brothers are important. Brothers are important. Men are important, right? My spiritual father says this. I agree with it 100%. There are people that don't agree with it. It's okay. We ain't got to fall out. The strength of every nation is determined by its male population. If you attempt to continually dismantle the importance of a man in the house, the importance of a man raising his children, the importance of a man being married to his wife, Chris Broussard said the most revolutionary thing a black man can do now in this country is to get married, stay committed to his wife, and raise his family. It's a revolutionary act. But when you tell men, bro, you ain't important, we can do it without you. I've been doing it this long. You haven't. You haven't been doing it well this long. And it's not until our kids grow up, Leroy, and that we begin to see what this calls the hidden harms of men not being around. It may look like you're doing okay for a period of time, but you're really not. And what I want men to begin to recognize is the value, the unique value you bring to this world. The unique value that you bring to your family, if nobody else is going to shout you from the rooftop, if no one else is going to tell you you're valuable, if no one else is going to tell you you're important, Leroy McKenzie Jr., Donald Morton, Walter Sellers, Dwight Robinson, Marvin Harris, Prince Solomon, and every other brother on this, we're telling you you're important. To hell with what the world says. They're wrong. You, brother Michael Norton, are important. And I tell you what, Leroy, so I'm going to turn it back over to you, man. We got about 6 minutes. Oh, I've been waiting to say that, Leroy. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh. Right? Leroy, they can continue to try as best they can to say men aren't important by policies, media, religion, whatever they want to use as a vehicle to diminish our importance. Or they can for once acknowledge, you know what, y'all? Yeah, I'm old, coach. I'm old, 55 years old. You'll be 55 one day and you'll want to be. you'll want to be. Leroy, take it from here, man. They even if they won't say it, bro, we're important.
Here's the thing, and you say this all the time in Facing the Arc, and it comes from your core. Has nothing to do with the outside. This ain't got nothing to do with what society is trying to tell you, because society's goal, purpose, especially here, as black men is to make you feel as if you are not significant. But you have to believe within yourself
Yes, sir.
and not allow anybody else to believe that you are. That's the thing that my mother instilled in me was you are important. You matter.
Yeah.
Black men, y'all hear us. I can't tap my screen because I'm gonna knock my phone over. I know you probably can't hear us. If y'all don't hear nothing else we say today, I want every single brother that's watching, that's gonna watch the replay. I want y'all to write this whole week. I am necessary.
Necessary. Absolutely, bro.
I am necessary. Understand it. Get that so ingrained in you that it doesn't matter what society says about you. You have the understanding at the core of who you are
Talk
that
with
I'm necessary. I can care less what society says about me.
me.
I know I'm necessary. I know I'm needed. I know that I'm wanted. If don't nobody else want me, I want me. You know, it just reminds me, bro, of what David, when it talks about David in the Bible. David was in this solitude. He's in the cave, and the only person he had to lean on was himself. He had to encourage himself. Don't look to society to encourage you and tell you, "Oh, I'm glad you're here." This thing. When we gone, when we take our last breath, society's gonna move on.
Absolutely.
Life is going to move on. The only thing that we have to understand is that we matter and that what we do matters because what we do is what's going to be lasting in this society. That's the legacy that we leave. So nobody, don't depend on anybody else to tell you that you matter. Tell yourself each and every day that you matter. And if somebody else wants to add on to that, appreciate it. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate you saying it. That means a lot to me. All you doing is confirming what I already know. Is that I matter. you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. We matter. Nodella says something here that I think is important to notice. We're getting ready to get out of here. But she says, although there were things my dad didn't do right versus the many things he did right, I wouldn't trade him for anything in the world. And this is what I want to tweak a bit, Nodella. It's not a pushback on what you said, it's an addition to what you said, right? What if we normalize the fact that no one does it all right? What if we normalized like I could say that about my father and have, right? But I could also say that, Leroy, about my mother, who was the greatest woman in the world. Although there were some things my mom didn't do right versus the many things my mom did do right, I wouldn't trade my mom for anything in the world. We have a tendency only to say that about dads. We have a tendency and propensity to only say that about men. And the truth of the matter is there are moms and women who we could say the exact same thing about. My mom didn't do everything right, but I wouldn't trade her for anything in the world. My dad didn't do everything right, but I wouldn't trade him for anything in the world. What I'm asking us to do is to begin to normalize the importance of men. And Leroy hit it. I'm going to get out of here right now. Leroy hit it when he said this: even if no one else says it, the foundation of every home is hidden, but most important. And even if nobody comes over to your house and say the foundation is beautiful, it don't matter. You know you're important. You know this whole thing collapses without you. What you are seeing is the collapse of a nation because it refuses to acknowledge the importance of brothers. But brothers, you can't let the society's inability or unwillingness to acknowledge your importance as something that keeps you from showing up. Leroy said, you got to have your ass show up anyway. I'm Donald Morton. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer of Remand. Thank y'all for hanging out with us on the Grown Man Podcast, hanging out with my boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. Man, you drop some bombs here today, Leroy. I know you got to go to the other podcast that shall remain nameless here. But we want to thank you, man, so much for your wisdom today. Just great podcast. Hey, y'all, we'll see y'all next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton. Dr. Donald Morton is an award-winning social entrepreneur known for his innovative social solutions.
Based on this fatherhood and manhood issue in droves, in incredibly large numbers. And I felt it necessary for someone to have a voice like yourself to do the work of restoring men in our society. And I've been doing that work ever since.
His latest solution is expressed as the CEO of Remand.
So Remand, the nonprofit, is about helping brothers that are coming out of prison, brothers most marginalized of our communities, helping them with their character and the institutions that impact them. And then the LLC, our for-profit arm, is really attempting to address the CEOs and CFOs and entrepreneurs and people like that say, look, I got issues too as a Black man. My issues are a bit different because I'm in the C-suite. And how it plays out in the C-suite is very different than how it plays out on the block and those brothers that are coming out of re-entry. But here's a deal. All of us the same, for real, for real.
Dr. Morton is the former executive director of the Complexities of Color Coalition. As executive director of the coalition, he worked to congregate Wilmington, Delaware's African American community in order to create comprehensive strategy to influence institutions, policies, and laws. Dr. Morton has over 25 years of experience in African American community leadership. Remand is deeply personal. While he's glad that thousands of men are on this journey with him, it was started because he needed liberation. He was broken and bound, and he was fighting to put his life back together after divorce, infidelity, business challenges, bankruptcy, and a life destroyed by being the worst liar ever. Yes, Dr. Morton was a liar until he faced himself and proved his signature science, the character arc. Then and only then was he ready to lead men to learn and live the science of being Remand.